So I today was like quite an interesting day. Interesting meaning uh, more or less enjoyable, and yeah, my topic today is compromise, self-compromise. So where I have not yet really seen what compromise is and what is meant by self-compromise, what is a self-compromise, and how it's really quite extensively sabotaging mechanism and mechanism of dishonesty, of self-deception. So now I firstly want to share a point about compromise that I have seen within myself as a self-talk, as a conversation in my head that I had when I did the corrections on a work, where I then had a sentence construction that professor wanted me to correct in a certain way, and I had the last times always emotional reactions, anger coming up, and points of this is backchat of this is not this points, this is he does this deliberately, or this is not, it's his fault, so blame. I don't know the exact word in English now. So points where I didn't believe that it is right. So I thought that this is self-righteousness from my side, and emotional reactions and stuff like this. And now today I then applied self-forgiveness, and now today interesting point came up, because this anger reactions has like transformed into a conversation in my head where I say, or where I go like playing while I'm writing the sentence. Yeah, okay, your sentence construction, your system, this is your system of expressing this and this, and it has this and this intent and this sense behind it. It is this and this, and but I have my system, my sentence, my construction of the sentences. So why can't we can allow both to stand here and basically allow both sentence constructions as valid. And within this I had no emotional reaction, or no anger, but like agreement. When I looked at it, it is but a compromise that I made within my head, with a projection of the other being as the professor, where I talk to myself in my head. And yeah, with writing then I saw that I do this to also with looking at it, but then in writing it became more clear that I do this to from self-righteousness, so that my sentence construction, that what I had written in the beginning is valid. So I do this to validate myself in my mind as self-righteousness. Okay, now when I then looked at it, or in writing, came up that I do this because I have written and worked and done the whole work in personality, which is with extensive amounts of anger, of reactions, of emotional participations, and basically I want to protect and defend that this was right, that this was okay, that this was okay to walk in this way and to work in this way in separation as a personality, which is basically self-abuse and was not okay. But to make this whole process of working, this whole point valid, I made this compromise in my mind. So that I have not to face that all this emotional reactions, all the emotional participation, that is basically self-abuse and abuse of life, that I have allowed myself to participate in as ego, while walking and working on this work for the school, to make this valid. So, to give my ego basically right. And this is basically the whole fuck up, because I wanted to protect completely wrong my accepted and allowed self-abuse, so that I have not to see that it was not necessary, that it was not good, that it was purely ego stemming from fear. Okay, so this was the compromise. Now I've watched the film. It was the compromise within myself, where I wanted to protect and defend basically my walking in and as self-abuse and separation. And now I watched the film The City of God, where it's about like gangs fighting each other. It starts with like fights about dealing drugs, about money, about sex, so all the energy points are in place, and they start fighting, and there is one being that the whole time is like walking with the whole situation. He's not really a participant in the gang fights and does not really, like, for example, kill somebody or does not deal, but he's walking with and always is like a photographer and develops walks with the story, so to speak. And in the end, the whole fightings becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, and always more beings are killed, lots of young beings getting involved and getting killed, and then there is the point that the beings that deliver the weapons are policemen. So are connected to the police at least, and these are in the end there is a big fighting. The being that is the photographer is completely involved and takes pictures, and then he takes photos of the gang bosses are being killed, for example, and the whole fightings and stuff like this. And also he can capture a picture of the policemen, how they are basically involved in this whole situation as being corrupt and being talking to the gang boss basically, or a gang member at least. And then he is like this was quite interesting at the end. He says, now when I bring this picture with that gang boss to the newspaper, I get a job. If I give this photograph with the policeman that is talking to the gang boss and basically showing the corrupt nature and involvement of the police in the whole situation, and then he becomes famous. And but it would be very dangerous for him. So he said that he gave the photo of the dead gang boss to the newspaper, and so he basically compromised himself. And what I see within this is that when basically what he then does is, after this there is a few sentences where he says then, so now I'm not his name, I'm not any longer a Muscapé, but now I'm blah blah blah. So he gave himself a new name, and now he's a photographer, but he has a job at the newspaper as a photographer, but he has compromised himself, and in this compromise he has protected his ego, and he has protected the whole abusive consequence. And for example, the connection to the police, if he would have not compromised himself and not compromised all, but like given the photo where the corrupt policeman blah 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 would be shown, so this would have caused public uproar and maybe opened up the whole point, and brought the abuse to the light. So it's interesting because it shows also how the compromise is protecting the abuse, is protecting the negative consequence, and allows this to play further out. And this is done in self-interest, in fear for example now, yeah, fear of death, or within my with my case, yeah, also from a perspective fear of loss, because I cannot, I lose my, I have to give up the righteousness point because I see that it was not right. Okay, so thanks for watching. Bye.